What's going on, guys? Flickify here, and today we're up to episode 6 of my 3rd season of career mode with York City, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this commentary today because we actually had a power outage here, and my battery on my laptop was pretty low, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go ahead and do a commentary, but luckily things came back on, and I'm sitting here just doing the commentary. Hopefully it doesn't go out again while I'm doing this, because that would be kind of funny, but it would be kind of crappy too, because I wouldn't be able to get an episode out, but let's hope for the best here, and we go right into the matches today. The first one's going to be against Leeds United, and right now we're sitting at 15th place in the league, which is not the best, but it's so early in this season, we can't really tell too much from where we're sitting right now. But we're going to try to get this win against Leeds United, and we start things off pretty well there. We go with a volley attempt, actually, but that one is saved from the keeper. But here's De Silva, moving on to the outside the box. He's going to find Isacek, who's going to find Dos Santos, and Dos Santos going to cut inside and finesse things into the back of the net. Gives the 1-0 lead in the 32nd minute, so that was a nice goal from him. And speaking of Dos Santos, I just want to tell you a little bit about him. He's actually grown like 4 or 5 attributes total this season so far, so that's just crazy figure because he's so young. And this early in the season, that's just a crazy figure. But enough with him. Jensen gets a goal there in the 45th minute. So just before halftime, we have the 2-0 lead. And Jensen's starting to fit pretty nicely into the squad. Starting to get some goals for himself. And he's starting to act a little like Benzia, which is what I really intended to do in signing him. Or bringing him in on loan, hopefully signing him at the end of the season. But because we had that 2-0 lead, I decided to make some substitutions. And here's Matty Blair, still representing things at York City. One of our original players, one of the few that are left. But here's a great cross from him, and he's going to find Jensen in the center, who's going to get another goal for himself in the 59th minute. So we were just dominating things at this point. Everything was working for us. The team was working well together, and I just threw in this little tidbit because I thought it was pretty funny because I thought that was some pretty epic here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But here, we're going to get a corner kick, and as you can see, everything's just working. The ball just barely ricochets in and then ricochets back out. So everything seemed to be working for me in this game. But unfortunately, Leeds actually gets one more goal toward the end of the game, so we didn't get the clean sheet, but still, a 4-1 result. Can't ask for much more than that. Obviously, a 4-0 result would have been ideal, but 4-1 result, pretty happy with that, and a nice offensive performance. You can see there, Jensen gets the 9.5 match rating, which is nice to see. He's starting to get some goals for himself and starting to perform well, and we did deserve that win, obviously, because looking at the goals, we just deserved that win. But here we're going to get some scouting updates on our players from Brazil. I decided to reject one of them because he does not have potential in 80s, which is what I usually look for. And we just go ahead and continue to scout the last ones. And I'll probably just go ahead and sign them after the last bit of scouting unless there's some drastic change with them. And we're just going to do a little bit of simulation here, going into our game against West Ham. And here's Sorrentino. It's kind of funny because he's pretty happy with how he's been playing lately, or how his role in the club, which is weird because I haven't played him at all lately, so I guess things just worked out for him. Maybe he had some personal issues on the side. But we go into the game against West Ham, figure out the kits there, and we go out with a nice starting 11. No real changes there, and we're going to look to get a win against West Ham. We're sitting up there in the league table, sitting at that 6th place spot, and we actually moved up from the last game. We're at 9th place right now, so we moved up like 6 spots. And Jensen's going to try to get the opening goal for us here. And he gets a shot on goal, but that one is a nice save from their keeper, who really performed pretty well this game. But early in the game, we're actually going to bring out Isacek and bring in Vadio because there looked to have been an injury for Isacek, and I didn't want to risk any more injuries. But here's De Silva getting through on goal, but that one is just wide. He did well to go ahead and turn the defender. But we go into halftime, just no goal scored, so I'm just going to move right into the second half here. And West Ham gets a corner kick, and that was a really close attempt for them. I think it's Maega who nearly gets a goal for them. But here, late in the game, De Silva's going to do a bit of a McGeady's turn to get by the defender. And here's Sinclair coming off the bench, and look at that finish from him. He's just been such a key bench player. And it's nice to see him still performing well for us. He's pumped to get a goal. And, you know, he might not be getting the first team play, but he's just done so well off the bench. And I have to consider him maybe moving him to the starting 11 because he's done pretty well in the past matches. But there, Perez gets the man of the match rating with an 8.8, which was good to see. Our defense held up well, and we managed to get the clean sheet and dominate possession against West Ham. So 2 nice performances for us. Getting a really dominant win against Leeds and a nice win against West Ham. We're sitting up there in the league. But we do have one more match this episode in the Capital One Cup against Stoke City, who, if you guys can remember, we actually knocked out of the cup last season, so they're probably going to be looking for revenge, and that they did. They played pretty well against us, but we're going to go right into the game, figuring out the jersey situation, because we do have a little bit similar jerseys, but we finally get it figured out there. At least we had one that were a little bit different, and we bring out a nice starting 11 against them. No real change, and it's kind of weird. Fitness hasn't been a problem lately for us so far, so maybe our players have good stamina. But here's York City, or Stoke City, who are just, they came to play, because you can say they're playing pretty hard against their keeper. forcing a foul there. But here's Jensen trying to get through on goal, and he has a go, but that one hits the post, goes off the post and back into play. So Jensen nearly gets a goal for himself, which would have been a huge goal for us. And De Silva actually has a shot himself, and it falls to Jensen again, but their keeper, good on form, keeps the game at 0-0. And I don't know what happened there. I think it might have ricocheted off our player, because he looked to have been offsides. Jones looked to have been clearly offsides, but I think that might have ricocheted off my player, which was why he actually got the goal there. So in the 32nd minute, Stoke City actually managed to get the lead on us there in the 32nd minute, but we were looking to tie things back up, and Dos Santos threw on goal here, but another nice save from the keeper to keep the game at 1-0 for them, and they actually don't even concede the corner kick. So we go into halftime down 1-0, so I wasn't too disappointed with how we played because we had the chances, just it wasn't going in for us. But here, later in the game, they actually make it 2-0, so things were not looking up for us, and just nothing seemed to be working for me offensively. Defensively, we weren't even playing that badly, but here, De Silva's going to find Sinclair. We're trying to tie things or get a goal back, and Jensen hits the post again. So that's just that's like a pretty good example of how things worked in this match. Like, I had the opportunities, just nothing worked for me. But we tried to make some substitutions, maybe had a chance at bringing the game back, maybe pulling back a 2-0, 2-goal result. But here, pretty much sealing the game there. It's going to be Huth who finishes the game for us, and we're down 3-0 at this point, so pretty much all hope is lost. And to rub things in, Knightley's going to find the man in the center, and it's going to fall to Knightley again on the rebound, and they make it 4-0 there. So at least this wasn't in the league games, because that, to be honest, I don't care too much about the cup games. Obviously, I want to do well in them, but I care much more about the league games. So we lose that one 4-0, but we did well in the league this game, or this episode. But that will bring an end to the episode today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, regardless of that last loss. But if you did, be sure to leave a like rating, and I'll be talking to you guys later. If you want to help support my channel, be sure to leave a like rating on this video and subscribe to see future content. Also, you can click on the video on your left to be taken to the previous episode of my career mode, and click on the video on your right to be taken to another separate video.